The small lake project is nearing completion. Let me show you where we are on it. This has been a fun project. So this is about the location where I showed it before when I started. Here's the fence for a reference point. And here's what I've got done so far. Cleared all the trees, burned the brush, and I built this reservoir. Had an inch of rain, so I've got some water in it already. It'll run back towards the trees in there. That'll be the shoreline on the shallow end. And I built the reservoir dam to kind of wind around, give it a little bit of character, fit it in with the trees, existing trees that were here. Had to swing out around that tree, as you can see, but that just adds to the fun of it. So that's the lake bottom that I dug out, you saw with the scraper running. And I put that dirt over here building this reservoir. That's what I use for fill to make the dam. And I made this dam wide enough that it could be used for road if desired. And as we go around the corner up here, you'll see that I widened it a little bit more, so if a vehicle's pulling a trailer, truck's trying to drive through here, it's got some extra swing room for the trailer. And then I tapered back down after I come out of the corner. Today's project is to put the drain in. That's really all I've got left to do. And those are the materials right there that I'll be using. So I'll put the drain in, and there's a small creek that I'm going to drain it to right there. You can see how this is wider as I walk around here. And then I'll turn around and we'll look back the direction we're coming from. Give you an idea how it's fitting in. Over there is a peninsula where the trees are and a little bit of grass that will extend out into it. Just to give it some additional character, I decided not to tear that out because the trees were charming and got a windmill there. And so just going to bring the water out around and then back in, and then the shoreline will come over there and it'll come back in around here and then circle around. So I made this wider in here, as you can see. This will give plenty of swing room if you're pulling a trailer. So the creek is right there. It runs down along there. We're going to lay a pipe in today from there straight through the dam, and we'll put the catch basin right there. I'm going to get the surveying done to determine exactly where the catch basin needs to go. The catch basin will regulate the water level. I have freeboard built into this, so we get a big rain, the water come up above the catch basin and it'll slowly drain back down to the normal level. If it gets too high, we get too much of a rain, I put emergency spillway in over here on the end. And this will allow the overflow to escape the pond without having it cut over the dam and wash it out. So the emergency spillway is what protects your structure if you get too much water at one time, which can occur from having a second rain or additional rain after the lake is full and before it's drained back down, or if you just get a huge rain all at once. We've had 9-10 inch rains here before, and if that happens, the structure will be protected, and the overflow will come out over here, and then it'll go down through the field there and eventually get back to the creek. There's an existing terrace over here that I have cut into the lake, so the dam's coming out here, goes straight to the highway right there, so it could be used for an additional entrance in the future. So this terrace comes from there, comes along here, and goes right here. So what I did, I brought the spillway into the terrace, I cut the terrace, and I now have the terrace where normally it will drain and go into the lake. If the lake overflows, then the water will come out here at the low point on the overflow, go back into the existing terrace and be carried on down. And of course the water from the terrace would also go down there until the lake drops enough that it starts going back in the lake. So that's how I'm capturing more water to put in the lake, at the same time allowing a place for the overflow to run to protect the dam from being washed out. It's a basic principle, but it worked out well in this scenario where I already had an existing terrace that I was coming into. Now we're looking at the back side of the dam. We'll walk around the low side here. I have it shaped up on a gentle slope, which is very easy to mow with a field shredder or with a lawnmower if a person wanted to. But it'd be easy to maintain. It's important to keep the sprouts off when you build a structure like this that holds water. You don't want the roots compromising the dam, and the best way to do that is to mow it once a year. That way you don't have to fight any growth. You keep it trimmed once a year, the sprouts will never come up. It's very simple, only takes a few minutes with a shredder, but you have to have it graded out to where it's safe to drive on. So that's what I've done here. Gives you a little idea of the amount of dirt that I had to move in here to make this happen. This is all fill clear out to there, sloping from there back. Here's view looking back toward it. You can see that the depth as it goes down. I have the top of the structure on a flat grade. It tapers slightly on each end. The far end, opposite of the emergency spillway, is designed to be another overflow, but it's higher. It still is a secondary protection for the dam. So if we had a humongous rain just short of Noah's flood, the water could run potentially off both ends for a period of time to protect the structure. Highly likely that will never happen. Here in Texas, we haven't had Noah's flood, that's for sure. Okay, these are the materials we'll be working with today. 24-inch pipe, and then this is the catch basin with a cast iron grate on it. I'll be knocking a hole in the side to, and I have to grout it in to put the pipe into. And it's 120 feet here. That'll be enough to bring it down to the creek. Here's a shot looking across the top of the dam. I want to show you how flat it is. I did this by freehand, but I checked it, double checked it with GPS. But if you look, I'll raise it up to where, as I come down, if you look at the dam in the distance and you watch as I come down to the dam nearby, you'll see how flat and on grade it is. Now, this will settle some, and I may need to come in and regrade it, but I've packed it really well, and I don't expect it to settle much. Plus, I've had good moisture conditions to allow it to pack as I was digging it out of the bottom. This is the secondary spillway. I start tapering it off right here and then come a little bit lower, and then it tapers down to the water level. So the water can never wash this out, because if it gets a little higher, it will run here as a secondary spillway and will then exit and go around the backside of the dam. Don't think it'll ever happen, but you still build it in just in case. That way it can pour on both ends of the dam if necessary and protect the structure. There are 4 elements to building a lake. You have the structure, you have the overflow or the drain, which I've yet to put in. I'm doing that today. Then you have the emergency spillway, which is over there. And then you have, 4th is the secondary spillway. This is a better shot of that. You'll see as the dam comes around, and start tapering right there, and I taper it down to the water level, which will be right in here. And as that water level comes up, the drain will bring it back down to maintain the level. But when it gets up, if it gets too high, it will run out the emergency spillway over there. If that isn't handling it and it continues to come up even higher, then it'll start running out the secondary spillway for a period of time to bring it back down until it's only running out of the emergency spillway. And then the drain will continue to bring it down to the normal level. As I've got a creek, there's 2 creeks running in here. There are two creeks and a waterway out of a field right here running in here. So this has to handle a fair amount of water, but I've got enough water surface here with freeboard, so it'll take a big rain. It'll take a couple big rains before it ever starts running out the spillway. And that 2-foot drain will bring it back down to the normal level. And that's the design. As it raises, the surface of the water gets wider and it takes even more water. That's the principle behind it. Anyway, there are 4 elements to it. That explains them. Here's a view from the lake bed. Where that tree is up there, it was original ground level. That's how much I've dug this down to build this lake in here. And when I look back up here, you can see the original ground level over there, and then back to where the existing trees are. And this will be the shallow part. And it's about another 18 inches deeper over there where the water's standing. That's the deepest part. As I said, we had an inch rain, and so it started to fill. But this gives you a little bit of a view, and helps you understand a little bit how much dirt was moved in order to create this. It will be fun to watch it fill, and be fun to see the mature water level. I would sure like to have a big rain and make that happen. Now we're standing near the deepest part. Obviously not going to walk out in there. This was my haul road. Had to cut the fence there to make the haul road, which I'll put back. So cut the fence there, hauled it out of there, and then around to the dam going that way. Another shot of the haul road. I was crossing the terrace right there, then going around the end of the dam. That's the spillway you're looking at. That's the dam coming through right there. The terrace is right here. Runs back up through the field there. So you can see the haul road was going up over the terrace right there, and then around. So I'll give you another shot of that spillway from the terrace angle. Okay, I'm standing in the terrace channel right here. It'll go down here, go into the lake, and we'll fill the lake. When it gets so high, then the terrace will go on as the lake is spilling out around, and it will continue on down the terrace for ways and then spill back into the creek down there. That's the emergency spillway from the other angle.